grey colored hair, grey colored hood, grey shirt and skirt, grey stockings as well. Yeah, I guess that's why her name is at grey. The only thing not grey is her eyes. Hello and welcome back to Excurgane Blog and Photography. I'm Steven and I'm back with another figure review for today. Last week I reviewed Alter's 1x7 scale rider Altria Pendragon Alter from 5th Grand Order. That is a very high quality scale figure worth checking out. Should you be interested in her, the link is right up here. Yeah, go and check her out, yes. For today, I'm going back to a price figure, the typical $20 figure that is a bargain, a good value purchase regardless of whether the figure is well made or not. Most of the time they are rather well made but not perfect. That is price figure. This figure in question right here is the Sega price, SPM price at grey from Lord El-Melloi Case Files. Lord El-Melloi Case Files is another spin-off of the Fate series, the Fate franchise, and Lord El-Melloi is basically an adult Waver Velvet. Yes, the kid you saw in Fate Zero, the master of King Iskandar, he has grown up. And this Ed Grey over here kind of works for him, yes. Ed Grey is another Saber face character in the Fate franchise, a character that looks like the OG Saber, Altria Pendragon, and she actually does have connections to her, but I will spare the details because I do not want to include spoiler content in this figure review. Before I move on to the figure, we will take a quick look at her box. This is what her box looks like. The usual Sega SPM box, and I love boxes like this because they are so small and compact, which translates into a very low shipping cost. Alright, as for the figure itself, most of the figure is painted in grey color. That is how the character is. In fact, I call this a 50 Shades of Grey figure. Yeah, I know that Sega would not have used 50 different kinds of grey paint on one price figure, but you get my point. Most of the figure is grey in color except for her boots, dark brown, her lantern, gold, and her pupil, the eye. This is one of those price figures that looks great from a distance. The sculpt is spot on, no issues with that at this price point. But once you move up close and inspect it, you'll start finding small problems with the paint job. This is by no means a deal breaker in any way. It is extremely common for price figures and I'm just doing my job pointing them out when I'm reviewing a figure. On this figure of Ed Grey, there are a lot of micro scratches, small scratches, both in front and behind, all over the figure, especially on her cape and her outfit in general. Why is this the case? My own speculation is that it happened during the manufacturing process at the factory. Figures like this, they consist of multiple separate parts which are glued together after painting. So what happens is that all of these parts, they were mass produced and then they were transported together to an assembly line, and this is where the problem is. All of these separate parts in a single box being transported and they are rubbing against each other, friction. Regardless of whether the paint has already dried or not, scratches will happen. You can just get any of the existing figure. If you have the balls to do so, put them together in a single box, no protection, no plastic film separating them, and then you just put them together and leave them for months. Even though you did not touch them, when you bring them out from the box months later, you will see paint scratches in some places. And this is exactly what happens over here. What I don't like about this figure has to do with her lantern in her right hand. In her lantern, there is supposed to be a break in the middle. I don't know what to call it, I'm calling it a break. But what Sega did over here is to paste a pair of stickers in front and behind the lantern and keeping the center empty. I know I might be asking for too much from a price figure, but I do not like this at all. It looks really weird, it looks really cheap to me. Yeah, it is a cheap figure, but I still didn't like it, that's my point. I don't think it is that difficult to make a single plastic cube and put it in the middle of the lantern. It shouldn't be that difficult, it shouldn't increase the cost too much. Maybe my complaints are not justified, But yeah, I'm going to voice it out that I didn't like what they did over here. Yes. This is currently the only price figure of Ed Gray available in the market at the moment, and if you're looking for additional options, there is a scale figure of her which is also relatively new, also came out in April just a couple of months ago. I can't remember which company made it, but what I do know is that the reputation of that company, that brand, isn't that good, which is the main reason why I did not purchase one. But I still wish that I get to review her one day. Personally, I'm not going to purchase that figure unless I find a really good bargain, yes. So, with this price figure of Ed Gray, should you get one? Absolutely. If you know who she is, you like the character, go ahead and buy one of these. Price figures, they are a no-brainer, they are a good purchase nonetheless, regardless of the faults. Unless they screw up the face, of course. If the face is well made, you can say that that price figure is sold, just go for it, yes. And they did the face right with this price figure. That is the most important part. The face is done correctly. I guess that is all about this review, this figure of Ed Gray. So, if you do have any questions about this figure or any other figure in general, do not hesitate to drop down a question in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribing to this channel if you want to see more figure reviews and toy photography content. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys again. Goodbye.